Hello everyone, welcome to another video. It is Francesco here. Welcome to the Keep Productive YouTube channel if you are brand new, and if you're a regular, welcome back. So in today's video, what we're going to be taking a look at is Bear versus OneNote. Now, both of these are very popular note-taking applications that are available for users to take notes across their day in different sort of styles. It's sort of put the features head to head against each other, talk a little bit about where you can use both of these, what situations are best for both of these after recommendations from users, and also pricing and information like that. So hopefully this will give you a full rundown if you are challenging yourself, whether you want to go for Bear or OneNote, all in as your daily note taker. Now, I did a video very similar to this called Bear versus Evernote, so if you want to check that one out, it's going to be in the YouTube cards. And bear with me, I will be creating the OneNote versus Evernote one very soon. So we're going to start with talking about some of the fundamentals of the application, some of the history. We're then going to dive into things like structure. We're going to then talk about formatting and multimedia, then round up with the cross-platform abilities, the connected applications, and the pricing and information. And then we're going to round up with some opinion as well. So guys, I'm really excited for this feature today, so let's dive in and do a head-to-head comparison on the laptop. Just before we start, make sure to hit subscribe to this YouTube channel. It'd be amazing to have you as a regular here on the channel. We have a Facebook group and we also have a community of people all loving and promoting productivity applications in their daily routine. So feel free to join that Facebook community and hit that like button and subscribe button. So here we are on the Mac, and we have Bear for Mac open and OneNote for Mac. Something that I'll make sure to clarify in the fundamentals what tools they are available on. Now let's begin with some background to both of these applications. Now just to be clear, on the left hand side we have Bear, and on the right hand side we have OneNote. What I'll be doing throughout this video is jumping into these applications separately to go over some of the features that I'll be talking about, so you won't be seeing it in the side-by-side view all of the time. Just an opening credit. So some fundamentals. OneNote on the right hand side was started in 2003 and is more popular with students and teachers. It is integrated in the Office 365 system, so it's available to all those who have a subscription over there. And it's used by millions as a free note-taking resource. Now, OneNote specifically has a host of features that are really useful for quite a lot of people, and the reason it's free makes it even more attractive to a lot of people. Now on the left hand side we have the lovely Bear, which was created in 2005. It's been in beta for about a year and a half and has been released in 2006. Now it's very Apple friendly, and it's been awarded a top award for iOS, and also it's available on Mac too. So it's a very iOS friendly, Apple friendly experience with the intentions of moving to Android and web, something we'll talk about nearer the end. Now it's a very simplistic software. It is free. There is a pro experience in it, and that's not the same with OneNote. OneNote is a totally free service unless you have a Office 365 subscription. So let's start with the structure of these applications. Do remember that this is OneNote and Bear for Mac, so the experiences will look slightly differently on the other devices, although for the majority of the time OneNote has a fairly similar design across the board, and same with Bear. So as you can see here, this is the layout for OneNote. OneNote is very simple. It's structured into something called notebooks. So you have your notebooks on the left-hand panel here, and then within each notebook you can create a section. You can create unlimited sections, and within those sections you have something called pages. So it's very similar to like those notebooks, physical notebooks that you have with a tabbing system, and it's a very easy way to get things started. Now I really like the way that this is set up naturally, because it's quite intuitive, quite easy to use. It's not too advanced, so it won't overcomplicate things and get things set up. So on the left hand side you can create a notebook just by selecting a range of the notebooks, and you can choose the actual color of the notebook and give it a name as well. You can choose where it's stored as well. In my case, I've only got OneDrive attached to this OneNote account. You can also retrieve previous ones and also open anything inside of your OneDrive account. So it's quite a neat way to back up everything, and I always recommend having a good backup system like that. So in terms of structure, it's not too advanced, and they're obviously spending a bit more time developing this as they go. Now here is Bear, and as you can see, it's a very different experience. Now just to let you know, I have a theme running on this, which I will keep consistent throughout this, but explain a little more about themes, so the experience will look slightly different to everyone else. So here we have on the left hand side, you have a panel for notes, trash, and then you've got a section for your hashtag organization system. Now hashtags are pretty easily organized, and all you need to do to include one of those is include a hashtag to a specific existing hashtag or new hashtag inside of here. So for example, I'm just going to create a new hashtag to demonstrate. So for example, let's call one of the notebooks OneNote. And as you can see on the left hand side, one of the new tabs appears with your new notebook. So it's organized into that structure. It's sort of quite a new way in the note space to like visualize and see all of your notes and also all of your activities. And you can attach one of these notes to two or more of the hashtags, so you can have them in multiple quote-unquote notebooks or hashtags. Now it's really simple. The design is nothing too intricate, and I always say that it's very similar to an advanced Apple Notes. That's how I really recommend this resource. So let's move on to the next section, which is formatting. And here on OneNote, you can start formatting or creating your note inside of a page. And that's brilliant because once you can create a page, it's almost like creating a note to an extent. So as you can see up here, it's very similar to Microsoft Word. They brought in a lot of the functionality, which is great. And as you can see, you can add anything from formatting your text. So for example, let's say I put example as a text bracket. I could modify this text by adding a bold, italic, underline, changing the size of the text as well to anything I like, and also adding bullet points, checklists, and things like that. Over this side, I can change whether it's a header 1, header 2, header 3, and I can also add some more contextual bits of information. So that's anything from a to-do list, a definition, a contact card, phone number. I can base it on a project, a source of any kind, a priority, a scheduled meeting, and basically anything around here. So highlighting passwords, movies to see, you know, it's quite contextual to the activities. And then on this side, you can actually auto select that one as a to-do. So you've got quite an easy access to set up everything. And it looks like the resource set is very handy. Now, of course, there are more multimedia, which we'll talk about in a minute. But in terms of the ability to start adding all of the stuff down, the context points are probably something that really stands out above the likes of Bear. Now, they also have the ability to do slight markdown as well. So I'll include some information about that in the description. But it is very simple, very easy to get on with, and of course allows you to add multimedia, which we'll go into more detail on in a second. So as you can see here, this is Bear, and of course Bear has an advanced markdown ability. So as you can see, I've opened up a note here. I can add all the higher level of detail that you can't really add in great detail available on OneNote. So as you can see here, I've pulled up the section for being able to see the styles and formatting. We've got header 1, header 2, header 3, which you had there. Line separators, bold, underline, and this all comes down in raw markup editing. So it's very like visual. You can add lists, ordered lists, quotes. You can add the to-dos, so those are checklists. You can even add code and highlight stuff as well, and files, which we'll bring up in a moment. So the actual abilities are pretty neat and something I highly recommend. You can see that links are really brought out in this section. So in terms of getting things set up, Bear has an advanced markup editor that supports and highlights over 20 programming languages. So it's quite advanced. But I give the winner here, I would say OneNote, mainly because it has a more simplistic setup if you're looking to get started, and a host of really helpful contextual points. So for those looking at a beginner sort of experience, OneNote is great, but with Bear, it's more of an advanced setup. So, as you can imagine, multimedia is an important part of a note-taking experience. Being able to capture useful things that will support your workload during your day is very important. Now, OneNote has this tab up here called Insert, where you can add a range of multimedia. Now, on the left-hand side, you've got the ability to add tables, which is very helpful. The ability to upload pictures, to print out your pages as a PDF, which is very handy, and also attach any files that could be PDFs or documents that you want to correlate it to. Now you can add links, which is really simple, and you can even add equations as well, and also dates and date and time. Now there are a host of symbols. What I mean by symbols is like arrows and things that are useful for class as well. And I can also attach audio content as well, which is very helpful if you're in a lecture or you're looking to record a meeting to listen to it afterwards. So the range of resources there are pretty handy for beginners. And on the right hand side as well, you've got the ability to draw as well. This is something that it really does go into a high level detail. Although this is available on Bear, we'll talk about that in a minute. You can see that there are a host of options there. You've got eraser, pen, markers, highlighters. You can choose the ink color and the detail as well. So if I just said hello there, you can see that it comes out in quite a rich level of detail and the ability there. You've also got view as well, so you can see all the angles, but we'll talk about that more in the next few features. So you've also got the OneNote Clipper. The OneNote Clipper provides you with a way to save into OneNote from the web, which is very handy. So you can save a host of links, resources, images, and data across the, like for example, let's say you're researching or bringing stuff in, and you can save it directly into different notebook sections as pages, which is very helpful. You've also got email to OneNote, which is very handy. A Evernote similar feature that provides you with a way to email directly into OneNote. So the options are really useful. You've also got Office Lens as well. So in terms of scanning in multimedia, you can use Office Lens, which is a separate application to scan in new resources. They could be documents that someone have given you, and you can save them into OneNote. So you have a host of ways of clipping things in there, and it's very easy to get on with. So on the other hand, Bear has, I'd say, a little less terms of multimedia. You can add a range of files. So for example, if I'm inside a note, I can go over to the styling or use the shortcut to add a file. And files can be anything from images to PDFs, and that's very helpful. So for example, let's say I want to add this random picture of a Todoist boards, and it comes in inline, which is very helpful. And you can also add the likes of attachments like files and information like that. So on the iOS version, you have Sketcher, which gives you the ability to sketch out things. I'll include a demo here while we're doing this video. The Sketcher ability has very similar to functionality to the OneNote, however, is only available on iOS and provides you with, I'd say, a slightly less ability to draw and details like that. Now on the web, you've also got the web clipper, which works great, and that works on Safari and Firefox as well as Chrome. So you've got a host of beneficial clippers, so you can clip things directly into Bear as a note. It's very handy across the web, very similar to the OneNote one, although I'd say the OneNote one has a slight advantage. Now in terms of multimedia clippings, I would say that the winner here is OneNote, mainly because it provides you with more options and more benefits. But if you're looking for a simple markdown abilities with very little multimedia adding in, then this could work great. Bear is a fantastic option for that. So in terms of cross-platform abilities, OneNote has a host of available resources. It's available on iOS, Android, Mac, Windows, and has a web clipper as well. Very useful resource to have during your day. One thing I note about both of these resources is OneNote and Bear are very similar on the devices they are available on. So OneNote recently went over a host of changes to make sure that the design was consistent across the board, and they have kept that consistent, and it looks great. So that's just a note as well. OneNote is available on all of those platforms. So on the other hand, Bear is available only on iOS, has a web clipper, and on Mac. So, and of course, that makes them less available on all the devices. So for example, let's say you were to move to a Windows computer at work, and you had all of your notes and useful functions on your Mac at home. It makes it less accessible for when you're accessing at work, for example, or let's say you have a sporadic change of mind and you want to move to Android or something like that, then it's not going to be available there. Now, the Bear team have noted that they are working on a web and Android version. They also have a notable Safari and Firefox clipper for using it about your day. So in natural fashion, I'm going to have to give the cross-platform award to OneNote because it provides you with more optionality and resources. So let's move on to connected applications, and connected apps are pretty important when it comes to getting things done across your day. OneNote has a host of those connected apps, as I was mentioning before. Office Lens allows you to scan in new documents over to OneNote. You've also got a Zapier connection, WordPress, and the likes of Newton, which I use on a daily basis. Newton provides you with an emailing in functionality. That's just something to note as well. What I want to do as well is include the 4 connected lists. They have a featured apps section, which can be helpful for finding apps that connect to it. There's a few scanning apps and work-related apps that I think could be helpful for you. So they keep things very simple. There's not too many integrations with OneNote at the moment. On the other hand, Bear has, again, very little of the connected app side of stuff. They obviously are planning to develop this, mainly because Bear's quite a fresh application. I'm sure, I can almost guarantee that in 2018, there will be a lot of attention towards this. Now, at the moment, they only have an iMessage application. They have an iMessage application that allows you to send stickers, very helpful, I guess, and also a workflow automation ability. So if you're an iOS user, you can connect up Workflow, which is now an Apple application, but it provides you with a way to quickly organize all of your workflow in terms of like setting things in motion, like a bit like Zapier, but native to iOS. So that's just something to note. So moving on to pricing, OneNote is available for free. It has no restrictions. You can have unlimited sections, pages, etc. And obviously, as you can imagine, if you've got Office 365, it's available at $69 per year as part of the full Office 365 pack. And that obviously correlates it directly to your OneDrive account for work purposes. And you can set everything up there on all of those accounts. So that's obviously part of the package. So, you know, just to note that. So Bear, on the other hand, has a very simple pricing system. Bear is available for free on iOS and Mac. The free functionality gives you a fair amount of experiences. Bear Pro, which is their Pro experience, offers advanced features. It gives you the ability to sync between iOS and Mac, which is actually very handy. Gives you themes, which I'll explain near at the end, exporting abilities, and can be unlocked with a single subscription that covers all of your devices. Now, Bear Pro is available for $1.49 per month, which is really cheap, and $14.99 annually. So that makes it a lot easier to pay for. Now, one thing to note is that I'm using Bear for this video, so that's just something that you might see different. It syncs really well and seems to work out great. So in terms of OneNote's extra abilities, what I want to talk a little bit about is the things that make it go beyond the experience that many people use on a daily basis. And I would say the sharing abilities inside of OneNote are pretty impressive, and it's quite easy to copy the link to a notebook and share it with someone else who has the ability to edit and make modifications. So you can actually start up a joint notebook and get things rolling, which is very impressive. They have also got something called an Evernote import as well. So that's just something to note. OneNote have that available, so you can import all of your notes over to OneNote in one fell swoop. Now, OneNote also have something called Class Notebook, so you can connect with other students in your class. That's sort of the sharing abilities I was talking about, but it's actually a really nifty way if you're a teacher or a student and you want to start forming a host of sections, a host of pages. I've actually seen people in cafes with a really nice setup in terms of being able to share stuff with people, and their teachers were able to share those resources with them, so it's very helpful. Now, moving on to Bear, I'd say Bear has a real range of additional features that I probably haven't mentioned in the first segments. In terms of themes, The themes are one of the most impressive features of it, I'd say. You can get your app icon as well to match your theme. So this is the original theme you get, and I think you get 2 or 3 other ones, but you get a host of them when you sign up to the Pro experience. There's ones that I like most is Cobalt, but Solarized Light is brilliant, and as you can see, the iconography down there has changed as well to the color of the experience. One thing I like to do is keep it on like a black, because it tends to just be easier on the eyes, especially in the evening, almost like dark mode. Now you also have the ability to import notes from just general file storage. You have the ability to import notes from Vespa, the ability to import notes from Day One, and also Evernote, Simple Note, Ulysses, and of course Vespa, what I've just mentioned. So you've got a host of abilities to migrate from, which is very helpful. Now, what I really like about Bear is the syncing abilities between the iOS and Mac. Obviously, that's a pro function, but it's only limited to iCloud Sync. So whereas with OneNote, you have the OneDrive, you only have iCloud Sync on this one, which is a bit of a shame sometimes. It works with workflow as well, and one of my other favorite features is the info section on a new note. You can see the modification date, the words, characters, read time as well, paragraphs, all of the details in terms of what devices you use in creation date, and as a pro function you can export it as a PDF, which makes it look really accessible. So when it comes to rounding up, the scenarios that I'd recommend OneNote for is more, I would say, for advanced note takers that are looking to take their note taking to a very simple yet beneficial level. If you like your notebooks organized with sections and pages, if you're that sort of person that had tabs and things like that, then this might be great for you. What I really like about it is it's more available for students. I'd say it's a great way to get organized for a student. Also good for professionals if you're looking to get ready in the office, as well as having it alongside your personal and business stuff in Office 365, which is very helpful. So the way I'd recommend it is more for those looking for a strong note-taking experience that is really not sold on Evernote, but really wants to have a consistent experience across all of their devices just to get things done. As I said, it's popular with students, teachers, professionals, so it's a range of people that are using this. And a lot of the features can correlate to that too. So it is noting that they are the target audience. Now, when it comes to Bear, Bear is an important experience. I think Apple Notes lovers will love this. Bear provides you with a really simplistic experience, but adds a host of abilities to go really advanced, like the markdown abilities, the ability to change themes. It's very customized in a sense, but also can be dead simple. So it's really that balance between the two. I think if you like that organization system of hashtags, then this will be great for you as well. And for me, for example, you can see here, I use Bear for most of my scripting because I really like the way it presents the scripts. And if I export them, it makes it look great. I think a lot of people will be using this as journaling or even just short notes as they go across their day, being able to clip stuff. But I do think it is a legitimate option as a resource. And a really good article that I'm going to include in the description is one by Federico Vitici, who goes into detail at actually how he moved over to Bear and is actually using it as a genuine option to take notes across your day. So what I highly recommend is having a full read of that, because what Federico does really well is dive into how he sets up his workflow, how he sets up his markdown abilities, and especially how he uses the functions on his iOS device as he goes about his day. I really like the way he organizes his tags and also the way that he pins his note, something that I totally forgot. You can pin a note to the top of either a script or the actual general notes list. So that's very handy. Anyway, guys, I hope that you enjoyed today's recommendations. I hope that it was beneficial for you guys. Bear versus OneNote is a tricky one, and again, I think it's really a personal experience and one that you should keep in the back of your mind. If you've already got a comfortable note taker, you don't necessarily have to move. This is more of a speculation thing. So just remember that when you're using them. I'll be doing more of these sort of Bear versus or OneNote versus videos very soon. The big one next should be OneNote versus Evernote, which should be very exciting. Anyway, guys, let me know in the comments what you think. Are you a Bear or OneNote user? I'd love to hear. And also make sure to subscribe to this YouTube channel for regular videos and resources. And if yet you're not to check out the Skillshare course, which talks about how to find your perfect to-do list application, make sure to check it out. The class will be available in the description below with 2 months free. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for stopping by. I'm looking forward to seeing you guys soon and talking with you guys in the comments. Make sure to have a great day, keep productive, and I'll see you guys very, very soon. Cheers.